Okay, so this is the ones that we have gone through last week. Okay, so when we talk about authorizations, okay, what is authorizations? This is authentication and authorization. Okay, so the authorization is the process of determines what a user or group of users is permitted to do, okay, on a computer or networks, okay, or to use a resource. Okay, so this is authorization. The question asks authorizations, right? Explains the meaning of authorization. So this is explains the meaning of authorization. Okay. The second part it asks the same questions. Okay, same question. Describes two methods to set authorizations. Okay, two methods to set. Okay, we go through. We have the authorizations, authentication first, then only authorizations. Okay, so authorizations. We will see after all the authentications. Okay, you will see the authorizations. We have three types, right? Okay, two methods. Okay, one is we set in web config stock files. Okay, so this one, right? Okay, another one is we enables the user roles. Okay, still we set the role managers enable equal to true, and to allow this role management, enables the user roles. Okay, and we can use we will need to code manually to add the roles using the role class from this system web stock security. Okay, two methods, right? At least from the slide, we have two methods here. Okay, you might have more than these two methods. Okay, but if you refer to the slide only, you have these two only. Okay, one is enables the user role. How to enable? Okay, explain a little bit. Okay, this is the second method. Okay, the first method is this one, right? Okay, setting in web configuration file. Okay, under authorizations, okay, we can set, deny, or allow access to the specified users. Okay, so to deny, we call deny. Okay, set the users and roles attribute. To allow, okay, we call allow elements, set the user and role attributes. Give examples. Examples is here. This is the examples. Okay, so there are two methods in the slide. Okay, one is the role managers. Okay, the first one is this. Okay, set it inside our web.configs. How to set it? Okay, this is how to set it. This is one of the examples. So when it explains, right, okay, if we're afraid that our explanations is not it's not correct, okay, or not precise to what we want to actually explain it, we give some examples, okay, to show that, okay, we understand, okay, this, okay, we understand the explanations. Yeah, so there are two. Okay, one is this is examples. Okay, one is the setting in the vector configs. Another one is the enabling the user's roles. Okay, how to enable? Okay, use the role class. Okay. The second questions, okay, I go to the second one, right? Okay. The second questions, okay, this is another partial questions. Okay, when I go through that partial questions, I just take two questions related to that chapter 2. Okay, this one is about the ASP.NET network authentication models. Okay, set and explain the three security mechanisms that can be enforced. Okay, authentications, three mechanisms or three methods or three ways. Okay, so I go back to the authentications. Okay. Authentications, okay, there are a few ways. It says it three, so you choose one of three of it. Okay, form authentications, window authentications, Microsoft accounts authentications, or social logins authentication. Okay, choose three and then explain these three. Okay, so if you choose we choose window authentications, then you need to explain window authentication. Okay, window authentications use Active Directory or window account. Okay, user credentials validates, okay, with the information we store in the Windows user groups. And it is suitable to develop the intranet applications. If we choose Microsoft account. Okay, explain it. Okay, we use Microsoft account service. Okay, this is a centralized authentication service which provided by Microsoft. Okay, and offer a single login. Okay, and profile services for member site. Okay, we can use the emails like Hotmails. Okay, live.coms, normal MSN. Okay, so if we choose social authentications or social logins, so we use OAuth and OpenID. So a form of single sign-ins using the login information from the social networks, examples like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, to sign in into a third-party website. And we need to use OAuth. Explain a little bit what is the OAuth. OAuth is the open protocols to allow the secure authorizations in a simple and standard method from the web, mobile, or desktop application. If you choose form authentications, then this is the traditional login logout methods or pages. Code associated with the web forms handles the user authentications using the user and password. And the users normally is stored in the database. So this is the answer for that questions. 3. Any 3? Where is it? 3. So any more things here? Explain 3. Okay. This is chapter 5, and the past year questions is from chapter 5. And today we continue to our chapter 6. Chapter 6, step management. Before we continue, let us have a look on our question first. This is week 8. Week 8, right? Okay. So lectures, I will go through step management. Okay. Week 9, we'll go through validation control. Week 9 is National Day, holiday, and the replacement is tonight. 6 to 8. So the invitations email already sent yesterday. Please remember to join. Since this is online, online means that I will give partial things. There's no discussions. It won't take very long time. Make sure that you come before we end the class. Yeah. And week 8 is this week. Week 9, validation. We will go through it tonight. Replacement. Week 10 when I see you face to face next time, it is a midterm test. So midterm test, important thing, right? It's accepted first.
Yes. Tips.
Okay. This one's a post it I set drop on it. I plan to post it now so that everyone's aware on it. Midterm test 20 marks. It covers chapter 1 until chapter 7. Chapter 7.
20 marks, so many chapters.
Then, if one chapter enough.
Cannot.
Your final exams also covers all chapters, okay? So midterms covers the chapters which we have gone through before your midterm. So midterm is week 10, right? Okay. During this lecture class, this one no need to take photos. I will post it. You will see it from your classroom also. Okay. Just I need to let you know during my lecture class. Okay. At least you need to aware on it. So midterm test 20 marks. Covers chapter 1 until chapter 7. It is on week 10 lecture class. Lecture class, please bring your own test pack and stepper. So every class we have the questions, partial questions. Some of you have your own test pad or whatever things. You bring your papers. Some of you just bring your own phone only. For those who just bring your phone, please remember. Midterms, if you don't have your test pad, then you cannot answer it. Pen, please bring. I need to remind, right? staples, okay, so that you can separate the questions and the answers to submit it to me. So when you come in, okay, the series start from this row. Okay, one side will be the practical class, okay, you attend on Thursday, and one side will be the practical class you attend on Monday. Okay? Thursday, Monday, that is. Okay? So when you sit, if we have a lot of space, right? Then please have an empty space in between. Yeah. Your lecturer is quite strict, and so if you cheat, you try, and later you'll know what is the consequences. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Absence and late cases, there's no replacement, huh? Okay.
What happened car accident?
Okay, proceed. Proceed.
What happened again car accident?
Okay, so this is the one per stage one, so one is Monday one, so the same thing. Okay, see the same thing, right? Okay, good. Okay, proceed. And proceed.
Right. Literally BDS.
Okay. Any questions related to the midterm? Yes, ask.
Privately.
Later the dance. Okay, no replacement. No replacement. No replacement. The cost plans given in your first class, right? Okay. And say what? This cost plans, okay, this cost plans distributes, okay, before your before your midterm, okay. So these midterms already set here in midterms lecture class.
Say which day?
So if your absence is not that kind of emergency, which you very not able to attend, which you able to plan it at the earliest, and there shouldn't be an excuse.
No, just kind of car accident.
1 hour for the syllabus. Okay, no, whatever things that you have gone through, and it can be the questions.
Whatever you discussed in the past year question, is it enough to do that again and we record it? Is it enough for the regular test?
I don't know. Okay, so whatever has been covered, okay, this is okay, possible stuff, the questions in your problems.
She's just hell bent on making it. Hell bent. No. How many just studied for marathon? You know what?
Yeah.
Not even got one, not even 34 hours. But I got 7 chapters.
Your finals also cover all chapters, right? Your midterms covers the chapters which you have gone through before the midterm. It is also fair, right? Yeah. Maybe I should tell you covers chapter 1 until chapter 7. Okay. But end of the questions maybe come out only chapters 1, right?
You think that will happen?
Okay. But I should tell you it will cover chapter 1 until chapter 7. I cannot just tell you it covers chapter 1, right? Possible so it covers chapter 1.
This maybe not going to go so far since she said ESC.
Later you come to me after class, huh?
Both theory and
Okay, so we continue with this chapter 6, step management. Okay. Okay, what is HTTP? Okay, we use web applications you use web. Okay, web we use HTTP or HTTPS. Okay, so these things we already know. Okay, since the first time we use web related website or web applications. Okay, so HTTP, this is a protocol that we use. Okay, and using HTTP or HTTPS, okay, we're actually using the request and response standards, okay, between the client and the server. When we use HTTP, okay, we are using support ID. Okay, so HTTP clients can start a request, okay, establish a TCP connections using support, okay, on a host or server. Okay, so upon receive the request, then the server send back the request, okay, as a response. The resource that's to be accessed by HTTP, we identify it as URL or Uniform Resource Identifiers. They're using the HTTP or HTTPS, and this one we call it URL schemes. Okay, we type in the URL using the client or the browsers. Okay, after that, okay, we obtain the IP address, okay, from the DNS services, establish the TCP connections to the IP using the port ID of 443. Okay, after that, the HTTP protocol or HTTP protocols will start the request response, okay, using the GET return with OCase or 200 code, okay, and okay, another request will be the post request to the server. Okay, after that, first request, get and response returns from the server. So this is a scenario of how the HTTP or HTTPS works. Okay, so the HTTP request get transport to the servers, okay, and we see it's the website or web page. At the end, it might look like something like this. Okay, from the page that we request, this is a get method. Connection max, okay, accepted by the servers, okay, in that server host. Okay. So server returns, okay, okay, we see it's not, we won't see, okay, but the response, okay, when everything is okay, the code is 200 okay. Okay, so this is what will show, okay, what happens at the back of our web browsers or web page. Okay, the servers then send an HTTP response along with the HTTP status code. Okay, 200 okay, okay, 4 false, okay, one is false, not found. Okay, if the HTTP request is okay, then the server will send a response contains a data request, okay, in the body. Okay, that's why we see, okay, the things, okay, okay, from the browser. Once the response body has been transmitted, okay, the HTTP server will be disconnected. Okay, so this is the scenario on how the HTTP works. Okay, and the subsequent request of the same page will be using the post method to submit the information to the servers. Okay, and get the scenes behind. Okay, this is like this, the post inquiries, okay, from HTTP. Okay, so this is how the HTTP works. Okay, what is that? Yes, that is programs, okay, which store the data in the variables, okay, or the memory locations. The content of the memory locations, okay, in the program's executions, we call it state. Okay, the state is the current status of the properties, variables, okay, or others data maintained by applications for a single user. Okay, this is what we call it state. Okay, so the applications, okay, must maintain the separate state for each user, okay, or for each request. Okay, this is state. Okay, what is that? Okay, the program store the data in variables, in memories. Okay, it says HTTP is stateless. Okay, because HTTP doesn't keep track of the state, okay, between the round trip. Okay, so each request is standalone, okay, and we consider it as a new request from a new user. Okay, so once a browser makes a request, receive a response, then the applications will terminate, okay, and the state is lost. Okay, so this is the explanations on why we always say that HTTP is stateless. Okay, because of HTTP is stateless, then we need the state management. Okay, state management we can say has two options: client side or the server side. So client side state management options, examples like the view state, control state, hidden view, cookies, heuristic. So these are the management of state management options from the client side, which supports by ASP.NET. Server side state management options, example like application stats, session stats, cache, profiles, properties, database. These are the options of the state management in server side. Examples is cookies. Cookies are files created by the website. We visit and it store the browsing informations like our site preference or the profile information. So there are two types of cookies. First party cookies, which set by the domain. Third party cookies come from other domain sources. Maybe have the items like advertisements, images, which embedded on the page. So this is cookies. Cookies. A cookie is a set of properties. It is in the form of name and value pair. We can have more separate by a comma. And it's stored in the user browsers. So this is the examples of the cookies. Key value, key value, key value, key value. So this is how the cookies look like. So these cookies can be used by the server to store information on the client computers, and can be retrieved by the web server only. This is cookies. Example of the cookies which view from the browsers. This is two different browsers. We can see the cookie settings from the browser itself. So you can go to settings, the browser's related setting things to look for the information related to the cookies. And cookies stored in our own computers, right? And so different browsers will store cookies in different locations in our client's computers. Cookies locations. So if you're curious to know it, you can just search on it. Like we have cookies stored in the Windows. Example like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Opera. So these prompts, the cookies stored in this location. So depends on our computers. See user, our username, app data, locals, Google Chrome's users, default networks. So if you want to know how the cookies look like, just go to open it. And all the cookies that were stored by the browsers when we access any web pages, will store in the same folder. Depends on the browsers. The prompt stored in this location. So this is how the cookies look like. This is a text file. Firefox. Firefox. This is the location for the Firefox. It's similar to this. And this one is the ones that's from Edge. Edge. Should be like this. So applications or web applications send a cookie to a browser through the HTTP response. Okay, so each time the browser sends an HTTP request to the server, so it will attach the cookies associated with that server. Okay, the other one is the cookies. Okay, session cookies. Okay, these session cookies, okay, that is the cookies that stored in our users' computers. Okay, and session cookies kept in the browser's memories and exits only for the durations for the browser session. Okay, so persistent cookies can kept on the user disk. Okay, so there are two types of cookies also. One is when we close the browser, the session cookies actually will destroy automatically. One, it will always set, okay, store in our user computers until the cookies expired. Okay, say we set it 30 days, then it will keep for 30 days. Okay, so cookies get used to store the client preference. Okay, so examples like the details of the last visit date and time. Okay, examples like the users get or the client preference on the languages that we set. Okay, we choose English or we choose Chinese PM. Okay, so these are the examples of how we use the cookies. Okay. It is not recommended to store the credential like username and password in the cookies. Okay. Other examples like the previous search details also is another examples on what type of data we normally store in the cookies. Okay. In ASP.NET, okay, how we create a cookies? Okay, we use HTTP cookies. Okay, yeah, this is how we do it. HTTP cookies, new HTTP cookies. Okay, and there are some values stored in the cookies. Okay, you learned other languages before. Okay, other languages definitely have cookies. Just the syntax is different only. Okay, in ASP.NET C#, how we create the cookies is like this. Okay, we create new HTTP cookies and we store values to the cookies value. Yeah, this one you will do it in your practicals, but next week practical. This week you still need to do practical 5, right? Okay, so just now is we create a new HTTP cookies and then we assign the values to the cookies that we created. Or we can just, when we create it, we set a value inside the HTTP cookies. Okay. For examples, okay, we take something from a text and then directly assigns to our cookies when we first create it. Okay, create a cookies, retrieve a cookies or read a cookies. How can we retrieve the cookies? We use request.cookies. Yeah. Request.cookies, okay, cookies name. Just now is last search, right? Okay, the previous slide is last search, so put in request.cookies, last search.value. So this is how we retrieve or read the cookies. And normally when we want to retrieve a cookies, we need to first check if the cookies is there or not. Okay, so we check if the cookies not equal to null, and then we only check it. Okay. Highlighted should be the first one. Okay. Yes. What?
It's cookies and cache memory.
Okay.
Cookies and cache memory.
Cookies as what?
Cache memory. Cache memory.
Cache memory. Cache memory. Cache is another method. Okay, cookies is cookies. Cache also is cookies. But it's separate. Cache also is one of the methods we use to store the stat in this chapter also. So cookies is cookies, session is session, cache is cache.
What's the difference?
What is the difference? The technologies is different, so the method, the syntax we use is different, the ways we use it also is different. Why we use it also different. So in your practicals, you will have parts, then you use the cookies. Okay, you have the part of the exercise, then you set the session, and you have the exercise to use the cache. So you see what is the difference between that exercise. Okay, like this cookies, the information saved in the user computers, right? Saved in the user computer. Cache is not. A session also not. have examples like expired, the names, the value. Okay, HTTP cookies collection class. Okay, cookies managed in collections defined by this HTTP cookies collection class. Okay, example of the properties like the count. Okay, so this is the number of cookies in that collections. Methods like we add the cookies, we clear the cookies, we remove the cookies. Okay, something related to the cookies. Okay, since we put the cookies inside the client's computers, okay, so the space we will use the users' computers. Okay, so this is one of the advantages of using cookies. Okay, cookies can save small amount of information for very long period of time. Okay, cookies can be used to customize the user visits to our website. And the disadvantages like the user can choose not to accept the cookies on their web browsers. They can block the cookies. Okay. The user can manually delete the cookies. Okay, cookies are not able to save large objects, arrays, or other complex data types. Okay, it can only save the string. Anything related to strings like the dash numerics data actually saved inside a text file. That one is cookies. Okay, so when to use the cookies? When we want to store the small piece of data, okay, and it is not crucial to our application. Okay, and so never use the cookies to store sensitive information. It can be configured to expire after any length of the time. This is what we can set. And cookies can be blocked at the client's end. So this is cookies. So I just open the CS files. Okay, you will see how to make the cookies is like what we have in the slide. There are a few steps on it, right? Okay, first is set the cookies. Okay, and then we can set the expired times or expired dates of the cookies. Like this one is set for 7 days. Okay, add the cookies to our add the cookies using response.cookies. This is the only things that we need to do, the syntax that we use in ASP.NET to set the cookies. Okay. The second one is we check if the cookies is not null, then we can take the cookies value. So like that only. Like that only. Okay. Yeah. This one is from the slides. Okay. Slide also these steps only, right? So we continue. Query string. Query strings used in anchor tag. Anchor tag is a tag. A tag. A tag is hyperlink tag, right? A close A. Used in anchor tag and hyperlinks. They pass information from one page to the other page. Okay, so this is query syntax. Okay, our URL. Put in question mark. Okay, and put in the pair of name value or key values that we want to pass using this URL. Okay, so this is query string. Yeah. So the syntax is question mark name value. If you want to put in more than one pair of name value, then we use ampersand. Okay, ampersand name2 equal to value 2, ampersand name3 equal to value 3. Okay. So passing a query string with the anchor tag is a tag, a close a two-side tag. href go to the URL products.aspx question mark name equal to value 1, ampersand name2 equal to value 2. Okay, this one is using anchor text with a button. Also, we can pass it. Okay, prospect URL. Okay, prospect URL is the button. The button under that properties tag. Okay, we have one of it is the prospect URL, right? Okay, when we click on the buttons, okay, we trigger the prospect. Trigger prospect. Okay, depends on where you want to go. Okay, and we set the prospect URL. Okay, prospect URL. Then we can set the query string inside this prospect URL. Okay, response.redirect. Response.redirect is the one that it will redirect to another page, right? So this is also we can put in the query string. The query string, the format is always the same. Question mark, then value. Okay, so we sense the query string. We have the query string using the attack hyperlink. Okay. After that, in another page, we need to retrieve the query string. So we use request.request query string. This one you used before because of your particles 4. The second methods 4.1. The second methods that you use is edit and delete. Go to another page. I use this method. I use request.query string to retrieve the customer ID. If you still remember. Okay. Okay. So we have the hyperlink, and then this is how we retrieve it. Request.query string. Request already, then you work together with your database, right? SQL data clients. They want to select all from customers where the customer ID equal to the ones that we retrieve from the query string. So this is the example of the query string. Okay. Query string. So this example using the button and then put in the, when we click on it, use the response.redirect, go to another page, carry the text box value as query string, as name and value, and then in another page, okay, it use request.query strings to retrieve the query strings name and value. Scope. Okay. You know what is function, right? Okay. Functions, when we talk about the scopes, okay, means it's within the functions only. Okay. The page, we know what is page. Okay, so the page scopes is within the page only. So it's function scope, page scope. Okay, section. Okay. Sections scopes, okay, it will visible from page to page during a section. So when we access to a website or web application, okay, our session starts, okay, the sessions will start whenever we open the website. The website have a lot of pages, okay, and as long as we are within that website, okay, that domain, okay, so the sessions will keep, okay, will keep until we close, and we close the website. We exit from that website. So this is the session. Visible from page to page during a session. The session variables can be used in all the pages in an application and for a particular session. So once we close it, the session is empty. Yeah. Applications. The visible throughout the whole application's lifetime. And whenever we start the server, okay, we start the applications, okay, it will stay there, application scopes, the applications, until maybe we stop the server. Okay, we end the application. Okay, normally, if our web applications, okay, in the productions, we will put our applications in one web server. Okay, we start the web server means that we start the web applications. Okay, so the applications will will stay and then will keep until one day, maybe the server down. Okay, we end the applications, then only the applications will end, okay, or else it will always keep it, okay, during the whole application lifetime. Okay, so this is a scope for function, page, session, application, still and more. Okay, functions. Okay, these are functions. Okay, so these are functions. Okay, after function we have page. Okay, page we have sessions, and sessions. Okay, we have application. So in the applications, okay, we have different type of methods we use to keep the state, okay, keep the information, and these are the scopes, depends on what type of method we use. Okay, session. Okay, when we browse a website or web applications, from the moment we first start browsing, okay, until we close the browsers, okay, so the session will keep it, okay, during our browsings. Okay, so we browse it, okay, we close the browser. At the time we close it, the sessions end. So each visitor is assigned an individual sessions ID. Okay. Okay. A new instance of browsers is considered a new session. Okay. Even so, I use my own computers. Okay. I use two different browsers. Two different browsers actually will generate two different session ID. Okay. When I access to the same web application. So the session objects created for each sessions. Okay, so syntax for the session, okay, and then only sessions. Okay, what is the item name? What is the content for that item? Examples: sessions, username, email, quantity, student list. So this is session. Easy, right? Same other language that you used before, okay, also got sessions and cookies. The difference is just the syntax, maybe okay, a little bit different, how you apply it, a little bit different on it. Okay, but the theory about the sessions, about the cookies, actually is the same. Okay. We set the sessions, we retrieve the session variables. Okay. So session variables can store the objects, okay, in different types. Okay. So depends on the types that we set. Okay, we use typecasting. Okay, if needed, okay, we use it to assign the value of the sessions to a variables. Okay, examples like the sessions usernames. Okay, we want to assign to a text box, then we need to make it as a string. Okay. Quantity, it is an integers. We need to convert it to integers. Okay, and arrays. Okay, so we need to convert it to a string array or string list. Sessions time, default timeout is 20 minutes. Okay, we can set the timeouts to other values by using timeout properties. So this is the example: session.timeout equal to 60. Okay, session methods examples like add. So we add the name and values. For that sessions, we clear it, we remove it, we abandon it. Okay, so these are some examples of the sessions method. Okay, when we use the sessions, we use it to maintain the user specific information. Okay, we can store any variable type. Okay, Okay, and if you need to maintain the stats only for the user visits to our website, okay, so this is considered a good choice. Okay. If you receive many concurrent user or place large object in the sessions, then our web server performance will be great. Okay. Sessions. Just open the CS file, and the syntax is the one that shown in the slide just now. Okay, so we set the sessions using the sessions array like this. Okay, so we text some things, the values, examples like text value from the text box assigned to a session. Okay, response redirect is redirect to another page. So this is a simple example on it. So when it redirects to the session login 2.aspx, okay, we check during the page load. Okay, we check the session. Okay, if the session is not equal to now, okay. So if the sessions get more than one, so it use the sessions items from this session basket count. And another one is the logout buttons. When we click on the logout, we can use some method like sessions abandoned and redirect to another page. Simple code only. Another page is this page. Okay. So this page can set everything to null or zeros. Okay. So when we click on the button says empty, we set the sessions to zeros. When we add the buttons, when we click on the button add, we increase the values of the sessions and then show it inside the Lego text. This method is normally used in the shopping carts when you add the items quantities, right? So sessions can be used to keep the users' profiles. Sessions we use in the shopping carts to keep the items which the user put inside the shopping cart. This is not a new thing. My other subject using other language also use the methods, just the syntax a little bit different from me. We've gone through the cookies sessions, and this is application objects. So this application objects designed to maintain the state globally across the entire website. Okay. Session is for one user. Okay. Applications is for entire website. Okay. Application variables can be accessed by all the pages and by all the users of the application. Similar to sessions, it can store any data types, including objects and array. Okay. The example of the usage like store the global application data, example like the discount terms, tax rate, and this display the tips of the day of the news updates, record the number of the banner advertisements was clicked, and record the running count of the visitors. Those are examples. Okay, the usage of the applications. Okay, how to create the applications variables. This is the syntax. Cookies, we know the steps, right? The syntax. Sessions, we know the syntax. And this is the application syntax. Okay. Similar to sessions, okay. Simple as sessions. So just applications items then equal to what is the content. Okay, so this is the examples. Okay. Applications variables we use to store objects in any type. Okay, we typecast it. Okay, when we assign the value of our application objects to a variables. Okay, examples. Okay. Application tips of the day. When we need to assign it to a labels, text, we need to make it to string. Okay, when we need to assign it to an integers, then we typecast it to integers. This is typecast rate. Applications methods like add, clear, remove. Applications methods lock and unlock. Okay, different from sessions or cookies. Applications, because of it able to access by all the users. And so if we need to update it, we must first lock it, and then once we update it, we must unlock it. So we lock the application's state collections, so only the current users able to access it. We unlock the applications, okay, so that others cannot access it, can access it after unlocked. Okay, example of applications properties like count. So it's the number of items in this application state collections. When we need to use applications, right? Applications, we write the code inside global.axx. Okay, this is a files, special files, okay, in our web application. And web application will only have one global.axx reaction. So global.axx code only files, provide the event handles. Okay, when it responds to the application events. Okay, only script and objects allowed, cannot include scripts which produce the outputs like HTML tag or the response.write method. This one is global.axx. You see it at the solutions here. See a page, global.axx. This is a type of files that we add into our web application. When we add a new items, we choose the file global.axx, and these files we use for applications. That's how we use applications lock, right? Applications lock, applications unlock. We lock it first, and then we update some things, okay, like this applications, visitors. Okay. After updates, then we unlock it. And this code we put inside global.axx. Okay. Application event. Okay, we have application start, end, arrows. So application start erase when the first page of the application is requested by any user. Okay, erase when the web application or web servers restarted. Erase when global.ax file is edited. That one is application start. Okay. Applications end. These are the events. Okay. We're able to find it from the global.ax file. Okay. Application end. Okay. Erase when the application is about to terminate. Okay. Application errors, erase when an unhandled error occurs. More events related to these applications. Session start. Okay. When the user start the session. A user visits a website and it will start a session, right? Okay. Session is a unit per user. Session A, when raise, it will raise when the user session is ends. Okay. Profile on my great anonymous. Okay. It will raise when an anonymous user login and allows migration of any profile properties. Okay. This is another spacious application event. So applications, okay. These events, we able to find it in this global.axx. You see it's application start event, application end, applications arrow, session start, okay, session end. This is inside this form. So when to use applications, okay, we use it to maintain the information which is global to the entire website. Okay, we not use it to maintain the state on a single user, okay, a user basics, okay, because it can drain our server resources. And we cannot use it to show anything that we need to keep tracks. Okay, that one is application. Okay, cookie session application, and this is cache. Okay. Cachings is a process to store frequently used data on the server, okay, to fulfill the subsequent requests. Okay, this is cachings. There are three types of cachings: output cachings, fragment cachings, and data cachings. So output caching, it allows the entire content of a page and to be persisted to memory and used to fulfill the client request. This type of cache will save the post-render content so that you won't have to regenerate against the next time it is request. So this is cache. After a page is cached, it can be served up again when any subsequent requests are matched to the server. Okay, normally the website will use a cache. Okay, if you learned cloud computing before, right? If you didn't learn it, okay, they will purposely put the cache file in different locations, okay, from that original server. Okay, the cache locations, they call it edge location, it will be the closest to the user, okay, to reduce latencies, okay, so that the user able to get the information as faster as he can. That one is cache. Okay, how to apply this cache in our ASP.NET application is simple like others method also. It's just few lines of code. Okay, you see the examples. You see the scenarios. Okay. So these are the steps again. Okay, steps again from the request to the response. Okay, in more details. So request, okay, cache handles to that ASP.NET page. Okay, they will go through the chp6 engines. Okay, go to that page class. Okay, class we have class instance. Okay, and then go back to the response. And ASP.NET, okay, ASP.NET, okay, cache, okay, will generate the output cache. So these are the steps on the ASP.NET HTTP runtime, which related to the cache, and it involves the whole process of request and response. So compare with cache. Okay. Compare with cache. Okay. You will reduce some steps. Okay. With the cache. Okay. For the request. Okay. You will get the response. Okay, which directly from the output cache. Okay. You won't need to generate again. Okay. To produce the sent output cache. So this is so-called the difference between the cache and how cache. Okay. How to put the output cache? This is the only lines that we need to put it to max the output cache keep for 60 seconds. Output cache duration 60. Okay. Vary by parameters now. Durations, attributes, okay. So this is a second. The cache is stored in the cache. We include vary by parameters or vary by control attributes. Okay. Okay. So if no needs, then we just simply put in vary by parameters none. Cache multiple versions of the same page in output cache. The vary by parameter attribute allows us to vary the cache outputs depending on the query string. And the vary by control attributes allow us to vary the cache output depends on the control value. Okay, so one is from the query string, one is from the control value. It is the difference between vary by parameter or vary by control. The vary by headers attributes allow us to vary the cache output depending on the request HTTP headers. By customs, it allows us to vary the cache outputs by browser type, by custom strings which we define. The one is output cache. Compare with the fragment cache. Okay, fragment cache is one part of the page. Okay, partial page cachings allow part of the page to be cached and other part to be dynamic. Okay, so to achieve with the cachings of the user control. Okay, so enables the share equal to true attributes. The user control outputs can be shared amongst multiple pages and on-site. Okay, so basically this is output cachings and fragment cachings, right? And these fragment cachings actually apply using the user control. User control is one of your chapters. Next chapter is validation, chapter 7. So user control should be chapter 8 or chapter 9. Okay. So in that user control chapters, then I will show how this fragment cachings works using the user control. Today's or the ones that in your peripherals actually using output caching. Output caching. And the only syntax you use to apply to it is this line only. This one only. Even so, we need to understand how the theory works, okay, how the technology works at the behind, but how to apply it a lot of times when we use Visual Studio ASP.NET C#, actually it's just few lines. How to play around with those few lines, apply skits using some logical statements because we want to play around in our web applications. Okay. And this is the only syntax we use for output caching. Okay, so when we use this output cachings, when we need to generate a page, okay, and it need to change every few hours, okay, when the information need to load into the database, and when to use the fragment cachings, the page will stay the same, maybe just several items, okay, you need to change regularly, and in that case we use fragment catchings. This is tonight. Okay, go back to the catching first. So a simple examples, okay, like this one is okay, output cache.aspx, right? Okay, this one have output cache, right? Vary by controls. Okay, so this ones, okay, we see the aspx, okay, we have a drop-down box. Okay, so which the drop-down box, okay, we select from the options. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, or 3. This is a normal event handles. Normal event handles, right? When the drop-down list index selected index change, they show into the labels what have we selected. Okay, so that's it. Okay. Other thing is just a normal form control only, right? Okay. Normal form controls, okay, we select drop-down list option 1, 2, or 3. That one is normal form control with the button. No. Okay. The drop-down list with the auto prospect, when we change it, the value will change. Okay. This cache, output cache will apply inside the source. Inside the source, right? We have design, we have the source, and we have one more cache is CS file. Okay, this one is a source, and output cache we apply using a line like this only. So this line is output cache, duration 60 seconds, and we say okay, the vary by controls, okay, from the control drop-down list.
Discussing the now slide you showed, the 1, 2, and 3 one.
So this is the only lines, yeah, this is the only things that we put in, okay, for us to apply the output cache, okay, vary by control. 60 seconds, and this one, when we run it, right, you actually, okay, the first time, okay, we select item 1, select item 1, it will show 1 in the label, right, and within the 60 seconds, even so I change it, and the value won't change because I will keep this cache for 60 seconds. So this is caching, and this caching taken from the control. Okay. This is also one of the examples of one of the exercise from your paragraph 6. Paragraph 6, you will total have, or you will have cookies, sessions, applications, and cache. Okay. Cache exercise is something like this. Okay. So this one, another page. The only syntax that I use is just the line 2. Output cache, duration 10 seconds, vary by parameters, compare with that control, equal to none. Okay, so this one, okay, cache generated on should be the dead times, and we query it in our CS file. Okay. In our CS file, during the page load, detect the dead times now and show in the labels. And that output cache can be used very by parameters, okay, equal to none. Okay, so it will keep the outputs, okay, stay the same, okay, for the duration 10 seconds. That's it. So this is a caching. Okay, one from controls and one is by parameter. Okay, this one is same thing, sir. This one's from Curishing. There are two. Okay, one is parameters, one is controls. Control, we see the examples. Okay, parameter equal to none, we see the examples. And this one is parameter. Okay, what parameters? This is according to our name. Okay, this one is output cache duration 60 vary by parameters, which the parameter name is city, and this one refer to the curishing. This cities, okay, is our is from our curishing. Okay, so like this one. And this is the curishing. Yeah, so this is the example actually mentioned in the slide just now. Paragraph 6. You'll do it next week. Next week, additionally. Yeah. So today's your paragraph still do the paragraph 5. Okay. And what else? Tonight we'll go through the chapter 7 validation control. The validation control is very easy one. So very fast we'll end the class tonight.
对，就可以看。
You still need to
上
join.
个礼拜，因为这个礼拜是6点到8点。
If you know yet take the attendance, please take the attendance first.